Hello everyone, this is Rich from Lightstreet Creations, and I'm going to give you some planning tips for your very first craft show. Stick around. Alright, so just to let you know who I am, I've been doing craft shows since about 2015, and I have learned a lot of the do's and don'ts. In this video, I'm going to go over 3 tips of what I think are pretty important to have squared away before your first craft show. I am by no means an expert. I just really enjoy doing craft shows, and hopefully some of the information I can give you will help you out as far as your craft shows are concerned. So tip number 1, make sure you have multiple ways to collect payment on your stuff. So obviously the reason why we're doing craft shows is we want to sell our items. Cash is king, and it's always good to have some spare change on hand, but not everybody carries cash anymore. So what I would recommend doing is getting like a little Square card reader. If you look up Google Square card reader, they'll pop up. They're not that expensive. I have one that can read the smart chip. I don't recommend doing the big POS system. That's a little bit overkill right now if you're just starting out, but I know people that do have those, but they're constantly doing craft shows, I would say every weekend, and that works out well for them. I also use, Venmo and Cash App, and those are phone apps that you can have. There's other stuff out there like Facebook. You can pay on Facebook now. You can have PayPal, and I'm pretty sure there's a bunch of others. But what I like to have are those 4, and I will let customers know that I have those 4: Cash, Square, Venmo, Cash App. So I think those are a pretty good start. I wouldn't recommend getting too many because it gets really complicated, but usually have 2 or 3 different ways to collect payment. All right, tip number 2, and this is a big one. Figure out a way to transport your stuff from your vehicle to your craft show booth. Ideal circumstances, you can pull your vehicle up. It'll be outdoors in a big field. You pull your vehicle up, you unload your stuff, park your car, come back, set everything up, and at the end of the day, you can bring your vehicle right back, unload it, and you're done. But it doesn't always happen like that. Sometimes if you're indoors for an indoor craft show, you're going to need some way to transport down maybe a long hallway, a flight of steps, maybe an elevator. But when you're indoors, it's going to be a lot harder to snake through everything to get your stuff set up. Also, outdoors, you might not be able to pull your vehicle up. You might have to park in a parking lot far away, and then you got a hand truck or cart all of your stuff to your booth. Sometimes that's not fun. And in the morning, it can be complete chaos when you're actually trying to unload your stuff. So you want to be prepared. I've seen people use like wagons, hand trucks, a strong friend. Make sure you have a plan to get your stuff from your vehicle to your craft show booth and be prepared for anything. So, all right, tip number 3, and if you've made it this far, be sure to hit the like, can't really talk. Be sure to hit the like and subscribe button. It really helps my channel out. Tip number 3, make sure you have a way for your customers to get in contact with you after the show. This is really important because customers might not want to make a purchase that day, but they'll think about it and then they'll say, hey, you know what? I really like that. Let me call that person up and see if they still have it. So, and I've made plenty of sales after the fact when it comes to craft shows. And I have repeat customers where they'll buy something and they'll be like, hey, you know what? I want more of this or I want more of that. And then they'll contact me and they'll buy more. So I would say business cards are a good idea. Get them in advance. You don't want to have your first craft show and then say to people, oh yeah, business cards are on the way. That's not a good situation. So make sure you either have business cards, an email address, a website, maybe a Facebook market, like a Facebook page or something, Instagram, some way, somehow you want to be able for your customers to get in contact with you. And then if you want to take it a step further, you can get an email list so that way you can contact them and possibly get them on a mailing list down the road if you want to expand and actually get in contact with people that way. I don't mess around with that too much. It gets a little complicated, but you definitely want to make sure your customers can contact you after the show. All right, so in closing, 3 tips. Number 1, multiple forms of payment, very important. Number 2, make sure that you can transport your stuff to and from your vehicle to your craft show booth. And tip number 3, make sure that you have a way for your customers to contact you after the craft show. Now, I'm probably going to be making more of these videos because there's a lot of tips and pointers out there. I just didn't want to make it too long. So hopefully this helps. hit the like and subscribe button. And if there's a tip that you learn, if you happen to be watching this and you're an experienced craft show expert, put a comment down below and it might actually help somebody else who's watching. That's it, and thanks for watching.